So I just finished Dying Light the Beast and I just rolled credits on it last night. And I wanted to talk about it, give you guys a little bit of how I felt playing the game and kind of like give you a cap on the end of the journey, if you will. After all, that's the whole purpose of like what I'm doing now. I don't want to make reviews or anything like that, to be honest. I kind of want to just share my experience live while I'm playing a game, but then I want to give you guys kind of like overall thoughts. And with that said, overall, playing Dying Light the Beast felt really good. I feel like Dying Light the Beast is a great game. This could be because the game itself in the open world is the character. I know that we play as Crane and we like Crane a lot because of the first game, and the story is pretty good on that end, or his backstory is pretty good, I should say. And when you start in Dying Light the Beast, you get a sense that you are playing or you are an experienced person in this world. It's not like the classic Metroid curse where you start the game with someone that comes from the previous game, but it loses all its powers, right? Essentially, with Kyle, yes, you do lose your powers, but you still have the ability to do parkour kind of the same way that you did towards the end of the first game. Maybe not as powerful, maybe not as completely strong or fluid, but you still have all those knowledge points, if you will. And translating from first game, second game to the Beast, I do feel like Techline did a really good job of making it feel where you are experienced and you know what you're doing somewhat. Where it kind of lacks is in the story department. The story was very one-liner. It's you just want to kill the guy because you want revenge. That's it. That's the story. I know that you don't really play Dying Light for the story, to be honest. Like, yeah, the first game story was okay. The second game story, I mean, I liked it. I'm not gonna say I didn't. But mostly what keep drawing me back to Dying Light is the world. It's the way that you play, the parkour, the combat, and the infected. To be honest, the infected are very interesting. You got some of the regular guys that don't do much. You also have some of the special infectors, let's just call them like that, right? Where these guys, can spit at you or launch at you, or there's some, bigger, tankier enemies that, they're kind of strong at the beginning. Towards the end of the game, you learn to deal with them pretty quickly. And it's not really a bad experience to deal against them or to fight against them. But then you have the volatiles. And to me, nighttime and volatiles in Dying Light the Beast, it is terrifying. In the first Dying Light, it was terrifying at the beginning, but then you become so strong that you don't really care. In Dying Light Stay Human, second game, I didn't really feel that threatened by nighttime as much. I mean, it was scary at first, like every other game, but it's not really that bad. You become very powerful. But then in Dying Light the Beast, even now, after finishing the game, I killed one volatile, like one-to-one combat. The other volatile I killed was because it got stuck in a blue light or whatever, or a UV light, and I was able to just kind of like spam him and kill him before he can do anything. But fighting volatiles in Dying Light the Beast was pretty terrifying. They're strong, even with your beast powers and everything. You could not really take them down so easily. And in my opinion, that makes Dying Light the Beast probably one of the best Dying Lights they made, if not the best Dying Light they made. The world looks incredible. I really enjoy Castor Woods. I feel like it's the perfect place for having a game like this. And I could not help to think that, what will it be if this is while I'm playing the game, right? Sorry, I'm a little bit sick, so if you guys see me stopping and cutting, it's because I'm getting my nose, it's a mess. But what I was saying is, I can't even, I couldn't help myself to think that, what if Techland decided to make a open world survival zombie game, right? Maybe even survival crafting game, right? Where you can make your own settlement and all stuff like that. Being completely honest, I think Dying Light would be a kind of like a perfect storm for something like that to happen. And the reason why is because the nighttime and then the type of zombies, or infected as they call them, they can be a threat to you. And if you get caught by yourself and you only got, one melee weapon and you got a couple bullets, you're going to have probably a bad time, especially at nighttime if you're getting being chased by volatiles. That's another thing. The volatiles, when you get spotted at night, you're not just going to fight one if you're on open air, right? You're going to be fighting as many of those volatiles that are in the area. and it keeps getting harder and harder as the chase progresses. So when you get chased, you pretty much got no choice but to turn around and find the closest safe spot before you get overrun. The parkour felt really good. I think Castlewood was pretty well designed, where there were a lot of routes that you could take, a lot of verticality you could take advantage of. And then they have a more countryside area away from the buildings, where for that you have your car or your vehicle. That was okay. I enjoyed that a bit, especially the races. The races were fun. Not too much to do outside of that. However, that did open the door for one of my least favorite things, which was the side quests. The side quests in Dying Light the Beast, especially towards the midway of the game, towards the midpoint of the game, they were essentially fetch quests where you go from one side to another, then you go to another, and then you go back, and then you go. It was not enjoyable because you had to do a lot of walking. And sometimes if you didn't have a car or anything like that, it could become a drag. I don't think the side quest thing was very well thought out, to be honest. I was a little disappointed on that, because the main story was okay. It wasn't annoying to sit through. The main story was fine, even though it was very, very shallow. Just like, hey, I'm gonna kill you because you did this to me and I want revenge. That was the story. That was the entire story. Even though it was pretty linear, pretty simple, it wasn't annoying to sit through. I think I enjoyed it. I would not sit here and say it was an amazing story, because it truly wasn't. But there is a redeeming quality towards the end of the game, and it's a little bit of spoiler. The game's been out for 3 months. Hopefully nobody gets pissed. The GRE is still up, and the GRE was very in the first game was this kind of like the Umbrella Corporation, right? To put it in simpler terms. I really was not expecting that, because the whole game was the build of the whole game was that didn't exist anymore. It was just the Baron, and that's the main guy, and that's the guy you want to kill. So the fact that they came back and kind of like give you like a little twist towards the end of the game, and then kind of leave you there, it really got me excited thinking about Dying Light 4. I have no doubt in my mind that the next iteration of Dying Light is going to be the best iteration of Dying Light that Techland is going to make. On top of that, they do run, if you are into replaying games, they do have like community events that are run through like a website, and then it kind of syncs to your game. Wasn't really paying too much attention about that, but if you're into replaying and getting rewards and stuff like that, that option is there for you. And it's gonna be one of those things that you could probably enjoy and have some more value out of this game. With that said, my perspective in playing video games has changed a little bit. I'm trying to play games where I can enjoy a story, go through a journey, enjoy a story, and kind of like share it while I'm playing live, right? Not really into grinding or PvPing and all that stuff, at least not for now. Is Dying Light the Beast a game that I would recommend to someone that just wants to play something casually, right? I would say yes. I would say especially if you are a fan of Dying Light the Beast, or the Dying Light franchise, I do think that Dying Light the Beast will be a must play if you really enjoy those games. I do think the development team is doing great by keeping up the game with updates and paying attention to the community. But not only that, even if you just want to spend a few hours, kind of like in a zombie-ridden world, and just going into the dark zones and getting some loot, progressing your gear, leveling up, all that stuff, I do feel like you'll get a good experience from the game, especially if you buy it at a sale, right? The game looks very pretty. I thought Castlewood's looks really good. It's not eye candy as in like colorful or all that stuff like that, but it is gritty, right? As a Dying Light, and it just looks good. It looks kind of realistic in a way. So I genuinely did enjoy my time in Dying Light the Beast. So I spent 53.4 hours in the game, according to Steam. The game could definitely be finished a lot faster. I did not do grinding, to be honest. I just kind of played the entire game with wearing the XP set, and I managed to, in my first playthrough, get to like legend level 3 or 4, something like that, which is kind of like end game stuff. Minimal farming. I only did all the main quests, all the side quests. I did do all the dark zones that I saw, and I did do all the side activities in the map. I wanted to clear it all. So I did take my time playing through the story, prioritizing side quests and side activities. And I did feel like the side quest was a little bit annoying, but it was okay. It wasn't too bad. It's not endless like some of these other games that can be very tedious, like some of the Assassin's Creed and stuff. But yeah, so I recommend it. Check it out if you want. I think it's worth your time if you like the franchise. And I cannot emphasize this enough. I do think Dying Light is pulling a lot of weight in the zombie genre of games. I do think they have one of the best kind of zombie style games out there. I'm not really into like Resident Evil stuff like that, but yeah. Anyways, I guess I'll leave it there. I want to stop rambling. I didn't plan on taking too much time talking. You can tell this is just kind of like a one take with some cuts in it. So yeah, let's just do that. I'm gonna be finding out what's gonna be my next game that we're gonna be doing a journey in. I am thinking it's gonna be Clear Obscure. Seeing if that is what the game of the year that people are saying it is. I am very excited to play it. But I have other games that I also want to play. So I guess I'll see you guys when I go live next time. And yeah, see you later.